Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media. I hope you had an amazing holiday and welcome to 2026. And our first guest of 2026 is Brian Samson, who is the founder of Plugg Technologies, which is a leading nearshore firm connecting Latin American talent with U.S. companies. Brian has spent 10 years focused on nearshoring, including living as an expat in Argentina. As a founder, he has grown three separate companies from 0 to 4 million annual recurring revenue each. Prior, he was a VP of talent for several San Francisco based tech companies, including an initial public offering and an acquisition. Brian holds an MBA from UCLA, and he and his wife are advocates for foster care, having adopted a baby girl. Well, that is so awesome, Brian. And
Thank
welcome,
you.
welcome to the platform. I appreciate you being here today.
Yeah, I'm honored to be the first of the new year.
Yes, you are. So let's talk a little bit about what Plug, give us a picture of what Plug Technologies is all about.
Yeah, so the newspaper headline is there's been a lot more interest in having workers on the same time zone. Offshoring is something I think just about all your listeners know about. You've got workers in India, China, Philippines, whatever. And the thing that's always um, been trouble is that time zone. Either somebody's working at 3 o'clock in the morning and that's not sustainable, or somebody's doing calls at midnight and it's just hard to make that work for the long term. So as COVID hit and there's been this real interest in remote work, but that time zone matters. So we're really the facilitators, taking all this amazing talent that's kind of been in like the backyard of the US forever and just connecting them, putting them with companies for the long term projects, a lot of software developers, but you can do just about anything, marketing, customer service, operations, accounting, finance. It's really amazing, the kind of talent down there. So that's what we do. We do about 100 placements every year, connecting Latin America talent with U.S. companies.
Now, so you kind of covered the industries that you cover. Okay, so if a company wants to connect with you, in terms of what is the process for finding your ideal person?
Yeah, sure. So what's good about us, I think, is my business partner has been in staffing for 30 years. I was in agency staffing and then in-house. So we kind of know how all this works. And what we tried to do is not make this like some weird Latin America thing. This is very US centric. So this process and structure, it's just like if you were working with Robert Half or Kelly Services or any of these staffing companies that we know in the US, Randstad, whatever. It's the same thing. And you never have to worry about anything Latin America like entities, compliance, currency. We're a US company, US contracts, US process. Now we've got all the infrastructure in Latin America. So we've got all the recruiters, we've got the operations, the compliance, all that. But again, it's like under the hood, you don't have to worry about that. So let's say you were based in Cincinnati and you wanted a marketing person who was just working remote, maybe in Cleveland, right? So it's a little too far to work in the office. And you open up a job description, the staffing company finds a few candidates, they do the pre-interviews, they send the three best candidates over to you. You do your interviews, probably a couple different steps. Maybe they nailed it. Maybe we got to go back to the well, get some more candidates, whatever.
Mhm.
And then you say, hey, I want to hire Mary. And the staffing company puts all the contracts in place. Mary works 40 hours. You pay the staffing company, which is employing Mary, right? And you don't have to worry about Mary's pay or anything. You're just paying the staffing company, a rate for every hour. It's the exact same process that we have. So it's uncomplicated. It's pure contract staffing. It just so happens to be Latin America talent.
Okay, I got it. And I think everybody is familiar with the American hiring process.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's pretty much self-explanatory. So if companies want to connect with you, how do they do so?
Yeah, easiest way, go right on our website. So first off, we've got a lot of I'd say collateral videos, case studies, all sorts of stuff that you can kind of read up on, make sure Latin America is for you, how it all works, all that stuff. We really invite people to learn, and we also do a lot of educational calls. But just go to our website. That's plugg.tech. There's a contact us page. We're not looking for your life story, just your name, your email, phone, maybe what you're looking for. We'll get right back to you. It's a human interaction. We're not doing AI or chatbots or anything like that. Pure human to human. We'll help educate you, get you started on your job description, and we're off and running.
Yes, and I already like that human to human already.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think all this chatbot stuff is kind of overrated. Sometimes I just want to talk to a real person.
Most of the time, I want to talk to a real person. If
Yeah,
a chat box call me or AI calls me, it's Mr. Click every
yeah,
time.
yeah,
'Cause I
yeah.
don't want to talk to that. I want to talk to a real person where it's emotion, we can laugh,
Yeah,
just people being people.
that's right. Yep.
So when you said that, you had me sold because I like talking to people.
Yep. Yep.
Now let me ask you another question. How do you vet your talent?
Yeah. Now, this is something that I feel a lot of passion about, and I want to tell you more about this, Ida, because my very first company in Latin America, we were building software for other companies. And what I started to see is that, like it or not, we all have bias, we all have stereotypes, we all kind of bring our past into what we're looking for as hiring managers, right? Let's say um, went to Stanford. You're gonna want people that are like from highly educated elite universities, right? Let's say you dropped out of high school but became a success story. You're gonna want to have your bias towards people that have this kind of work ethic, chip on their shoulder, street smarts. Like we all kind of bring our bias, to the world, and we all want to say we don't, but we do, and that's okay, right? That's okay. Um, so what I noticed in that very first company is, we would have a strong opinion about talent, and then our client would have a different opinion, and then we just kind of butt heads, right? Like, no, they don't know what they're talking about. No, they don't know what they're talking about. So with Plug, we've kind of thrown all that out the window, and everything is centered around what does our client want? And let's not make bias a dirty word. What are the biases that are in their mind and how they're thinking about stuff? Because we want people to succeed for the long term. So let's just be real. Let's just be authentic. So we try to understand, what are the schemas, stereotypes, bias that everybody kind of brings from their own lived experience, what they're looking for, who's going to thrive in that environment and that culture. And every client is unique, every hiring manager is unique. And the better job we do of identifying that, the better we're going to do with finding long-term fits.
Yes, and I agree with you wholeheartedly because when I'm looking for support, it's not just skills.
Hmm.
It's, in my company, I want thinkers. I want
Yeah.
critical thinkers. I want people. I hired you because you said you had this expertise. Okay. That ain't my lane.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, with that being said, I want you to take charge, so to speak, of your lane and don't be afraid to bring new ideas.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's very critical for me. I like
Yeah.
people that wanna participate.
Hmm. Hmm.
You
Yeah. You
know,
know, yeah, as you talk about that, I think you'd love Latin America, and let me tell you why. So when the US goes through some rough spots, I mean, even think about like inflation, for example, right?
hmm
It's hard for people out there, groceries are more expensive, everything's more expensive. Um, but this hasn't been forever. We're kind of in this like weird couple of year period of, high inflation. In Latin America, people have had their whole lives in a volatile, unpredictable, uncertain environment. Um, Venezuela's in the news right now, but for decades, people that lived in Venezuela, they had no real control of their lives. They're digging in the trash cans for food. It's like 1 trillion pesos for bread. They're in 14-hour lines. Who knows if they're going to eat that day? And these are all good, hardworking people, but under terrible leadership, right?
right.
And there's something to be said about unfairly penalizing the population because their leaders are terrible, right?
Mhm.
And we could just kind of sit with that for a second, but I challenge the listeners to go one level deeper here. If you're if you've spent your whole life living under rough conditions that you didn't pick, you end up becoming really good at handling adversity, being flexible, being scrappy, and finding critical or doing having really good problem solving skills and developing critical thinking to find ways around all these constraints that are built up in the system. I think you would love Latin America because what business owner doesn't want people that are scrappy, deep thinkers, good problem solvers, flexible, adaptable, and they're all over Latin America just because they were born into some really crazy governments.
Yeah, and to me that's important because we all have a story.
Yeah.
We all do, you know. And at the same time, as a business owner myself, I always look at the human side.
Hmm.
When we have our meetings, how are you?
Hmm.
Because if you're going through something, it's going to reflect
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
your work. Because I don't care what anybody says, when you go through stuff, you can't hardly separate sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
No
it's
doubt.
it's just you just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, with my staff, it's like if they have a cold, I might offer, you might want to try this. This will help you out, and
Hmm.
it's non-invasive. Just
Hmm.
try it out. You know what I'm saying? So we basically are more than just. It's more than just a company atmosphere. It's more like
Mm.
We are family,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how you feel matters to me.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if I go to the left, call me out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might not be getting it right.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
it's okay. And what I find in carrying my company that way, people are not afraid to speak.
Yeah. Great point. Great point.
And that's important to me. Now, I don't know, but I know that some places they ain't feeling the way I'm feeling, you know,
Yeah.
and I've worked in a few of those places um, in my life. So because of that, I didn't want that in my company because I know how it made me feel.
It's interesting you bring that up because I think your audience, and I can certainly comment on, there's a distinct difference in like work culture between Asia and the US. And so I did my MBA with UCLA, but I actually did a joint program where I went to National University of Singapore too. So I've got a degree in Singapore, which is kind of the gateway to Asia. And it was incredible just seeing the differences when we were at the UCLA campus with professors and the NUS campus. And I love NUS. I'm a big, ambassador for it. But the way that if you challenged a professor from UCLA, they loved it. They thrived on it. And let's debate this. Let's discuss this. Um, let's hear all the views, the perspectives. And I think that's like very like a US thing, right? Like we love debate. Um, and then in NUS, it was like shut down right away. Like, how dare you question me, right? And but I think that's just kind of Asia, like it's hierarchical. You don't question the boss. You don't feedback goes down and that in only one direction, right? It only goes down. And I think Latin America has a lot more in common with the US than it does Asia. There's still respect and,
Yes.
but there's a lot of passion there, and they have opinions, they have points of view, they want to share them, they want to bring that up. So I think there's a lot more alignment, especially for small business owners, entrepreneurs that want a staff that will push what's right for the business, even if maybe it's not totally where what the boss was originally thinking.
Yeah. And that's important.
Yeah,
That's very important because, you know, that's what collaboration brings.
yeah, yeah.
And I know I don't know everything.
Hmm.
And quite frankly, I'm not even trying to know everything.
Yeah, same, same, same.
I want people that we can sit down and we can collaborate. We can try things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But
Yep,
we can't
yep.
say we didn't try.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
So, I'm very warm spirited with my staff because I want them to feel comfortable with
Yeah,
me as a
yeah.
person. Yeah, I mean, if they get it wrong, yeah, I'm gonna get in your butt about it, okay? But at the same time, it's gonna be from love.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Yep. Culture is everything.
Yes, culture is everything. Wow, Brian, this is amazing. So, like, do you have like part-time people that will work part-time as well as full-time?
I think it's just like the States, where people's life circumstances, I think, kind of drives what they're looking for. And even if a business owner is looking for part-time, um, it's a market of supply and demand. So it depends on if the talent is looking for part-time too, right?
Right.
But sometimes you get people where maybe they're in school or they're a working parent and they need a little flexibility and 20 hours a week is fine. So it's really just a talent marketplace, and we've got a few people that are kind of part-time hours, but vast majority of our clients are looking for full-time people.
Oh, okay. Okay. And the other question I had was right there and then it just flew away. Um, wow. I hate that when that happens, don't
Yeah,
you?
it's okay. It's okay. I'm sure you'll think about it in a couple minutes. Don't worry.
Oh, I know what it was now. Um, what is your main talent that comes from your
Yeah, yeah. So what generally happens in the world of outsourcing, whether it's Eastern Europe or Africa or the Philippines or Brazil, it's almost always IT first because IT has kind of been validated. There's all the hardware, the software, the IP protection, all that. So that's really what I think the majority of companies are already set up to do. So everything from Salesforce developers to software developers to QA, DevOps, designers, architects, all this kind of software tech IT roles. That's the majority of the demand, what companies are demanding. And then there's also thankfully a lot of supply there too, so we can match that really well. What I would say is individual contributors and like first or second line leadership is abundant in Latin America. What I would probably advise against is hiring junior people from Latin America. And the reason why I'm not, biased against junior people, but if you can get a senior person in Latin America for the price of a junior person in the US, why not do it? You get this big value, for when you might pay like an entry level person in the States, you're going to get a senior person in Latin America. And then also, although there's some really good leaders there, the the executive roles, me personally, I might want to have my executives kind of close by, with me in the States. Because it's just different. You wanna have this strategic alignment. You can, easily meet that person. But anything in between, mid-level, senior level, first line managers, Latin America is a fantastic place to find talent like that.
Okay. What about like social media type stuff, social media
Oh,
management,
sure. Yeah, yeah. So we happen
marketing?
to have our own podcast and uh, our video editors, our podcast producers, our social media people, they're all right there in Latin America. And maybe one other comment I'll make, Ida, is Latin America, if you've never traveled there, it kind of feels like one just giant place, But there's all these different little countries and they all have their specialties. Um, Central America is amazing for call center talent, operations, social media. Argentina is fantastic for um, software developers. Brazil is the place for like AI and data engineers. Mexico is a great place for kind of legacy Salesforce, Java, .NET, kind of like traditional software. Um, so all these different countries kind of have their own little talent pockets, their own little specialties, and that's something we love doing, getting a feel for our clients' culture, their budget, their constraints, their goals, and then recommending what's the right country for them to look at.
Okay. Wow. That sounds like you got it all together over there.
Taken just like any entrepreneur, now I'm 10 years into it. I'm a lot more educated, battle tested, I've made all the mistakes, so our clients don't have to anymore.
Yes, yes. And I'm sure that learning curve when you're dealing with different cultures in different countries, that's a learning thing all of
Yeah,
itself.
sure.
I-
100%.
That's definitely. So again, Brian, how do business owners connect with you?
If I could just direct them to Plugg's website, plugg .tech, Go right there on our contact page and just a quick little message, and we're responsive. Again, real humans. Either me or my business partner, his name is Ruben, will schedule time and help answer questions, educate you. We do it all the time. We love doing it.
Yes, and before we wrap up, talk a little bit about your podcast.
Sure, yeah, thanks for the opportunity. It's called the Nearshore Cafe Podcast. We're just over 80 episodes, and we started it about 3 years ago, so we're in season 4 right now, and it's really a platform for real, authentic stories of people that are either from the States that have um, built a team, say in Latin America, and like how they did it, how they figured it all out, what they do differently, the mistakes, the lessons. And then the other half of the guests are real successful people throughout Latin America, investors, entrepreneurs, tech people, leaders, and you kind of get a taste for um, if you're not used to working with Latin America, like who these people are and their stories. And so it's really a lot of storytelling.
Okay, and where can we find it?
The podcast is called the Nearshore Cafe Podcast, and the website is nearshorecafepodcast.com.
Okay. All righty now. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You can get more information just through the podcast. So one more time, Brian, how do we connect?
I would love to talk to anybody listening today. You can simply go to plugg.tech, fill out that contact us form. We'll be right back in touch.
All righty. Well, I surely appreciate you stopping by and sharing this important information with me and my guests and my listeners, I should say.
Mhm.
And you are the number one in 2026. So that is going to be impressionable to me alone.
Well,
So
it was a real honor, and I appreciate the opportunity.
thank you. And we definitely will talk again.
I hope so.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.